Well, hello, Astrology and Beyond here. Stay tuned if you want to hear my opinion about the word gender. I am so tired of that word. How about you? Now, I know that when I was young, sex was a taboo word. We didn't say it very often and we didn't refer to it very often. And people were so uptight that even in my granny's time, that's only like a couple of few generations away, they put pants on piano legs because they were so uptight about ladies' legs being kept together. Because guess what? That's how you make babies, is when ladies open up their legs. It's just sex, people. It's just sex. But the fact is, it's holy. Sex is holy. And so nowadays, what are we doing? We're saying gender instead of sex. I mean, it's just as dumb as it used to be. We had to put pants on piano legs because we couldn't have any sexual inference. Well, what's wrong with that? What is the inherent problem with saying sex and knowing that we have two sexes? Well, you know my philosophy. And if you don't, then I'll tell you because I usually do. It is that we are made from two gods, yin and yang, two forces of nature. One is projective and one is receptive. And they are not moral creatures. They are amoral. They are energy that do what they do. They make us, they make our world. They are constantly uniting in a sexual, ecstatic union. And if they were to stop that union, we would disappear because we are now in the kingdom. This moment, me talking, petting my cat over here, touching my cheek, putting my collar up so you don't see my turkey neck. This is the moment. We are in the kingdom. This is what happens when you put the two together and make the one. Jesus said it. You put the two into one, and then you're in the kingdom. You put the eye in the eye, the hand where the hand goes, and we are then the image of not God. God doesn't have an image because God isn't a physical thing. But Goddess is the physical stuff. So we're made in the image of gods. Gods. And how are we made? We're made with sex, not gender. Gender is a word that was made to describe something in grammar. Gender wasn't, it referred to the sex of a person, but it had more to do with literature than biology, right? And so making it about biology is just putting pants on piano legs, people. It's just as uptight and just as weird, and it isn't progressive. It's not okay. It's not virtuous. It's bullshit. Gender is bullshit. So I'm reading this thing over here. I'm not going to show it to you because I don't know how to do that on Substack. But it's called the Glinner Report. And they're reporting about the Scouts. So here it says, at Scouts, we're committed to diversity and inclusion, and we're open to everyone, regardless of their gender, regardless of their sex, people. Regardless of their gender, everyone has the right to be treated as the gender they identify as. This is such crap. Regardless of any medical or legal steps they've taken. Members might or might not have changed their name or have legal recognition of their identified gender. Members don't have to disclose their gender. It's not appropriate to ask someone if they are trans. Well, trans is a modern word for fake, just in case you were wondering. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. What else am I looking? Boy, this just gets me so riled up because it ain't natural. Lead volunteers can find further information about practically supporting transgender adults in Scouts. Perverts, in other words. Supporting trans volunteers page. There's support available for trans volunteers with completing criminal record checks at Scouts. Blah, blah, blah. In other words, okay, so what I'm seeing here, I recommend that instead of using the words that these insane people are giving us to use your words. Use the right words, the real words. Go traditional. Now, one of the words that you can use for someone who's dressing up and acting, cosplay is one of the things. You can also call it acting. You can call it being fake. There's a big call in modernity to be authentic these days. And that is the complete inverse of all this so called gender crap. If you want to get your head straight, because it's taken me a couple of years to go the trans woman, the trans man, this F to M, M to B, XYZ, QRP. It's crazy making. You see what they're doing to us? They're trying to make you crazy. So just use the real words that make sense. And it makes sense to say that's a fake woman. That's a fake man, the one that, the mustache. You know that some lady in drag with her mustache and her suspenders, that's a fake man. She's play acting. And these men that are doing that, these are not good men. A good man wants to be a man. He doesn't want to pretend he's a woman. That is insane. And any man who's doing that, you don't want him around you because he's a weirdo. And you can't understand what he's going to do. Now, if it's a real man, he might be a bad man who's going to hurt somebody because he's bigger and stronger. So there's that to contend with. So now women have to contend with the bad man who is big and strong and might want to hurt her. And then this weird man who's also big and strong and who knows what the hell he wants to do because he's obviously demented. He's a fake woman. There aren't any trans. That is not a thing. It's not real. It's grammar. It's just words. So stop it. Please. Pull on your grown-up brain. Put on your grown-up tradition brain and use some tradition. Because there's some traditions that suck. And some that are really, really helpful. And I'm an old lady, so I have a pretty good idea of the traditions I have followed that were shitty because they hurt people and ruined our lives, and other traditions that really are pretty good. All right. So trust me. Trust me. I'll tell you what's a really good tradition is to call people by their sex, and not that sex is dirty. It's not, it's holy. So let's reel it back in. Okay. Let's reel it in. Can we do that? Reel it in and say, I am of the female sex. I am a feminine human. And you, sir, are a masculine, a male human. Your sex is male. That's all. And enough with this perversion of making kids go nuts. It's making me go nuts, and I already know who I am and what I am. I've known it for a long time. And I'll tell you, when these creepy weirdos get around me, it just gives me, you know what? You know how I know when something isn't okay, is unnatural? Is when I kind of feel like I'm going to throw up, or when I get this tightening in right here, my solar plexus. When you get a visceral reaction to something, you should trust that, because that is your soul. Did you know you're a soul? Did you know that? You are. Because when the two come together and make us the one, that's a soul. They come together and they make a soul. So what are you? You're physical and your spirit, right? You're two things in one. We don't come from one dude, one big being who jizzes out and makes females. That's insane. There isn't any sperm that can make a person by itself. And there isn't any egg that can't energize and produce a person without the assistance of a sperm. It's two gods making one creation, two sexes making one creation. This is why people are confused, because this whole transy thing is like, we can't decide. Oh, who am I? Well, you're made from both. You are a smoothie. You are a blended thing in a vortex of creation. And it's all freaking holy. So get over yourself, get over it, and be real. Because you know what? You are real. You are a real being of God. It's easy. Get over all the crappy dudes in your head. Stop worrying. Go out and dance. I went dancing. Oh, it was so nice. And this beautiful, sexy man who knew how to take control and lead. That feels amazing. Be a woman if you're a woman. Enjoy what men bring to you. Men bring so much generosity to a woman. Oh my God, I just love Dick. I say it all the time. I love Dick. I haven't had physical Dick in a long time because I chose to stop because I was goofy in the head. I didn't understand. And culture and society made me completely confused because I'm a real, like, woo, woo, I'm a real, what do you call it? Well, I'm very Piscean. That's like shorthand to say I'm very receptive. I can feel feelings that maybe other people don't feel, that I'm just like a tingly bunch of nerve endings just reaching out like an octopus. Ooh, what does that feel like? Ooh, look at that. Feel that. Ooh, that's green. That's purple. I wonder what purple tastes like. Mm. So very sensuous, very expressive of the emotions. You see, that's very feminine because in the and I can talk too. It's pretty cool. So, but the feminine energy, the yin sex, she expresses being through her physical actions, through her body. I am wavy, wavy, oh, singing, singing, oh. There's all of this expression in the feminine, which is why it is so sick and wrong that in the schools we took out all the feminine arts. It's just think and sit still and learn shit and memorize it and say it back and obey. That's all very left brain, that's very yang. We took out the dancing and the singing. And in religion, oh my God, religion is so goddamn boring. Sit and listen to somebody talk to you. Did you ever learn anything from being told? What's the first thing that happens when I tell you to do something? You go, oh, I'm not going to do that. Don't tell me that. Shut up. You're not the boss of me. Right? I mean, the whole thing is just so wrong when you boss people around. No, you want to react and interact like the gods did to make us. They interact. They're always connected. Yoni lingam. You know what that is? Look it up. All right. So back to my thing. Stop saying gender. Stop saying the T word and say fake instead. And get back to me in the comments because I mean it. Okay, I'm done. I love you. Touch my bells. Tap my whistles. Please, I need algorithmic power. Oh, God, this is so interesting. I just love it.